How's everybody doing? This is Johnny Concert. Welcome to the Johnny Concert podcast. We got Tom DeGerlia. We got Dave Martinez. We got Johnny Concert.
We got a band next door.
We're coming to you from the Alley Studios in Denver, Colorado. And the memorabilia of the day today is this Jimi Hendrix, pick from Experience Hendrix, not from Jimi Hendrix. But I can't remember. I think it was Dweezil Zappa that I got this from.
No,
but the Experience Hendrix has like 14 guitar players to play different Hendrix songs. They had Big Head Todd, Taj Mahal, Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson. Yeah. They had Dweezil Zappa. They had who else? They had Doyle Bramhall II. And then it was Reese Winans on the drums from Double Trouble from Stevie Ray Vaughan's band.
Oh, yeah.
And then Billy Cox on the bass that was in the Band of Gypsies with Jimi Hendrix. And so, so in the Paramount Theater, I get the email the day before. I get to buy tickets the day before with the email and with the VIP club. So I bought the best 2 tickets in the whole place. 4 tickets, actually. The best 4 tickets were row 1. It's section A, or it's section Orchestra Center, row A, seats 13 and 14, 11, 12, 13 and 14 on the end. And so we were in heaven that day. It was just incredible show. So that's the Experience Hendrix. I think they're still doing it. And Dweezil Zappa was maybe the highlight of the show. It's crazy, but
I like that.
He might be better than his dad. He might be.
That's cool.
So, and then I have the shirt of the day, my White Zombie shirt. And Rob Zombie's my doppelganger, one of my doppelgangers. And so I got my zombie story is we're at Fiddler's Green. And Fiddler's Green front row is, you got front row and then you have a little barricade and then you have a pit and then the stage. And so Rob Zombie comes through the pit and stands on the barricade to sing Thunder Kiss 65. Mm-hmm. And then he turns around to give back at the end of the song, and there's a sea of people. He can't go anywhere. So he drops down into the front row, comes right by us, and then he licks my girlfriend's side of her face, and then he gives me this bro handshake, We're just looking at each other. It seemed like forever. But we just look at each other right in the eye like this, and then he went back around on stage. Because I know all the people that sit around that season tickets are like, what the hell was that, dude? I'm like, Rob and I had a moment. You guys would understand.
That's
that
hilarious.
Was a really cool rock and roll moment, though.
That's fun.
Pretty damn cool. And Rob Zombie, as good as he is and as flashy as his shows are incredible, but White Zombie was, for some reason, just... it was so primal, the beats of White Zombie, that it's just hard to match. So, anyway.
I love that, dude. Memorable concert things you remember that, even personally that I played. I had this thing happen to me one time. We were playing with 311 and No Doubt.
Wow.
And they made No Doubt open for us, which I thought was kind of weird. But I remember it was like the end of our set and people wanted us to encore. And I look over at the guys, Nick and Tim, I'm like, hey, is it cool we do one more song? They're like, do it, man, do it. And
Nick from 311?
And then Nick, from 311, So they're watching me play the whole time like this. It was made me nervous as hell, but I was just like, we still did it. But after we did one more encore song, we got pelted with hundreds of joints. Like they were hitting us and falling on my pedal board, this and that. And of course, everybody starts to light them up. I'm like, this is before it was legal. So I knew that it was like, man, we're going to jail. Probably me. They always blame me anyways.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dave did it.
Yeah.
So that was when you were with the band Chaos Theory?
With Chaos Theory, yeah. That happened
Theory.
to us one time. That was good. There's some really good concert members.
Now, where was that concert? Where that concert?
That was downtown. It was at the Mercury Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Downtown Denver.
Cafe is an excellent venue.
Yeah, right before No Doubt went big.
Wow.
They were fighting backstage. They were just mad because they had to go on first. But the reason why they let us do that was because the night before we played with 311 in Springs, and then we took a busload of our friends, which was that way nobody had to drive drunk.
I see.
So yeah, they thought that was the coolest thing ever. You show up with your own fans.
You're one of those conscientious rock stars, huh?
Well, that would be all part of it. Drive the bus drivers, people are doing, things they probably shouldn't be doing. But everybody got hammered, slimed. We did that a few different times with the bus ride thing because we just thought it was fun.
Why not? It's awesome. Party bus. So the topic of the day is best guitar solos of all time. And, there's a million of them, of course. But, you got to say to yourself, what constitutes the best guitar solo of all time? Is it the most notes? Is it the longest? Is it the shortest? Is it the most efficient?
It's the vibe.
Then I separate it too, because if you got Iron Maiden, it's just like a solo section. They go back and forth and they play together.
Right.
And versus a single guitar player like a Satriani or a Jimmy Page or something like that. So there's kind of like two different examples there. But I would start off with, most people would say Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin, but I would say No Quarter on the live version, the live album.
Heartbreaker,
No
where
so
it all
good.
stops, he just plays just by himself. Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to play these songs, unfortunately, these solos, while we talk about them. But you could look them up, and please do. Leave a comment.
Concrete Jungle. Bob Marley.
Oh, yeah?
And the Wailers is a great solo.
Well, that's another thing. Is the speed, the faster the better, or the slower, or the most efficient?
I think the soul.
The song?
I think the soul of it. I mean, you could hit you hit like the same note, like a Stevie Ray Vaughan solo, where he doesn't have to hit a million notes sometimes. He just does, where it feels
That's a pretty
right.
good amount of them.
You could do it all with like 2 or 3 notes, probably.
China Girl, there's a good solo.
Oh, yeah. People don't know that he played with David Bowie.
He played with David Bowie, and he toured with David Bowie.
That kind of made him
That's
into
true.
a star. And then he quit. He said, hell with you English, whatever.
So you saw that Jeff Beck, Stevie Ray Vaughan song. Did you ever see Stevie Ray Vaughan play live?
No.
Oh, man.
I wish I had.
Good stuff.
I bet.
I saw the first time I saw it was '86 in Red Rocks, and it was the Greg Allman Band opening up.
Awesome.
It was right before the Allman Brothers got back together, and it was a hell of a show. It was a beautiful, beautiful day at Red Rocks. It went up for the whole day, and Stevie Ray Vaughan just killed it,
That's
as
awesome.
he always did. And then another time was at Fiddler's Green. And Riviera Paradise is one we were talking about earlier, one of the best songs. And I don't know if he really does a solo on it. The whole song's kind of a solo,
Yeah.
He's just meandering with his guitar, and almost like it keeps going, like Riviera Paradise. It keeps going down.
I like Lenny.
Oh, Lenny, of course.
Lenny from Stevie Ray is like by far one of the best soulful things where you don't have to hit a million notes.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, you think of Cause We Ended as Lovers, Jeff Beck, and he plays, it's like a man and a woman talking to each other, and they're breaking up. And his guitar right, so he voices both the man and the woman in the song. It's an instrumental, but his guitar voices both the man and then voices the woman.
But all that being said about the soulful thing, if I'm going to pick a song, like we were talking a little bit about it a little bit earlier, is Megadeth.
Yeah.
And like Hangar 18 from
Hangar 18 is
Megadeth.
exactly what I was about to say.
I like the entire album.
The album is incredible, start to finish.
The way I love about it is the way Dave Mustaine plays with a lot of hate, and you got Marty Friedman, and he plays with a lot of love. And you can tell, like, between the solos when they're going back and forth, and it makes it so great. That
might be the best speed metal album of all time.
I will go on board
Rest in
with that.
Peace is the name of the album.
I will go on board.
Unbelievable.
I've told people that before. Every single song.
Every single song is
it's just
incredible.
murderous all the way through.
Well, and that was
man.
right 1990 when Metallica came out with the Black Album, and Megadeth came out with Rest in Peace. There was always kind of the Megadeth Metallica rivalry, because Dave Mustaine, of course, was the lead guitar player for Metallica before they kicked him out.
Yeah. I got Mustained one time from my own band. It actually was. I got Mustained out of my own band. But I write all the songs.
Wait a minute. I thought this was my band. How do you mean I'm out of the band? But yeah, so Dave Mustaine, James Hetfield described it as, he's a mean drunk and we're happy drunks, so he had to go. So they've always had the kind of the rivalry. But I got to say, Rest in Peace kicks the shit out of the Black Album, Metallica's Black Album. And when you listen to them, when they both came out in 1990, I listened to them one to the other. I'm like, okay, it's kind of like Sander Sandman versus Hangar 18. You're like, come on now.
Yeah, I know.
It made Metallica look pretty bad, I think.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, so then I think of the Allman Brothers, the album Live at the Fillmore East, one of the best, most heralded live albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It was 1970, and Dickie Betts and Dwayne Allman, and soloing back and forth. And Remember Elizabeth Reed is an instrumental, and the guitar solos are they just build and build and build and build, and they just explode. It's incredible. Right. So that's one of my favorite ones, I would say.
How about you, John? You got another one?
Jimi Hendrix' Star Spangled Banner from Woodstock.
There you go.
Of course.
Right. I have a version of that too myself, kind of a little.
Nice.
And it's kind of different, I guess.
Well, we were talking earlier about the Band of Gypsies with Jimi Hendrix and Billy Cox and the song "Who Knows."
Yeah,
and that guitar solo in there is just phenomenal, man. He just goes on, and it just So Hendrix, some of his solos are just.
We like Eric Johnson. Oh,
Eric Johnson,
do. Eric Johnson, Cliffs of Dover.
Super clean player. And,
super clean.
Yeah, so I talked to his guitar tech one time. He said Eric Johnson said he could tell the difference between an Energizer battery and the other different batteries, and he had to have Energizer batteries in his guitar pedals.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Eric Johnson, he came out with this album called Venus Isle, and in 1992 the album was done. It was completely done. So they gave one last final listen before they went and pressed it and shipped it out. And at the end of it, Eric Johnson's like, no, not good enough. So he took it back, and he worked on it for 4 more years and released it again in 1996. That's what a perfectionist that guy is.
I heard about
4 years after he already got it perfect.
Stuff has to be tuned exactly perfect.
Just exactly right.
He has to be just right.
Oh, man. He is something. But he gets it right, man. I see that guy about. Probably got at least 20 times in concert.
I'm so jealous.
He's so good.
That.
Well, he used to play the college circuit. He'd play at Fort Collins, and he'd play Greeley, then he'd play Boulder, then he'd play Denver, then he'd play the Springs. And we'd go to every single one of them. Man. And so it was just something special. One of the craziest ones was in Arnold Hall in Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy. And Stevie Ray Vaughan had just died. And so, like the day before. And so he came out and said, I just wrote this song, it's called SRV. And we're the first people to ever hear that song.
Oh, man. I remember the night that happened.
Oh, man.
Telling my buddy, I was already crying. I was at work. I'm like, dude. He's like, I know, man.
You know what's funny too is he was such a partier, and then he quit partying and he wrote songs, things that I used to do, I won't do them no more. And then he dies when he finally gets sober. He could have died 1,000 times of an overdose, and all of a sudden he just dies in a helicopter crash.
That's why.
And the moral of the story is don't be friends with Eric Clapton.
Right.
Anybody around Eric Clapton just does not do well. So there's a whole history of that. Just. He was in the band John Mayall's Blues Breakers with Peter Green for Fleetwood Mac, and Peter Green went insane, had to go to insane asylum, and then he was with he had the thing with his baby, and then he had the thing with Steve Ray Vaughan, and so the story goes that they were going to go. There was a helicopter had to take one group at a time from I think it was Alpine Valley in Wisconsin. And so there was the last couple. They were the first one, and Eric Clapton said, "No, after you, Stevie." Eric Clapton was supposed to be on the first one.
Yeah,
and he said, "No, Stevie, you go first." And then Stevie said he died.
Stevie was hearing that in his head as he went down.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck?
No, yeah, Clapton.
Fucking Clapton, you son of a bitch.
Fucking Clapton.
He had a bad year that year anyway.
Well, then Dwayne Allman played with Eric Clapton on Derek the Dominoes. Then he died in a motorcycle accident. And then the stories go on and on.
Randy Rhoads, the airplane. Did somebody let him fly the plane, or they were hammered, drunk? Probably.
Terrible story.
But Randy Rhoads also. I have to bring it up.
You got
Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley. That's the first one that comes to my mind. Yeah. But 100 of them, because he would do like songs, solos like on Over the Mountain, where it was succinct, and it was like an amazing solo, but it did go out of hand. It was just served the song, and really good guitar work. Amazing guitar work. But I don't know. To me, though, the best solos of all time, flashiest, the most notes, the craziest. It's got to have some whammy bar. It's got to have some of this stuff, some tapping. Got to have some of all that. Otherwise, it's not the best solo of all time.
That's cool.
Okay, some people say less is more. Less is not more. More is more.
Yeah, you're gonna whack off in front of everybody. You may as well fucking
just go for it.
That's right.
Give it the gung-ho.
Richie Blackmore too. Richie Blackmore did that all the time.
Oh yeah.
So on Death Alley Driver. What's that?
Why aim low?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So which one?
Why Aim Low.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, I've never heard of Why Aim Low.
No,
Maybe I need to. Maybe I need to. I guess. I don't know. I'd like to go check that out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm for the flashier, the more notes, the better in my mind. So yeah, there's a song called "Death Alley Driver" on the Straight Between the Eyes album by Rainbow with Richie Blackmore on guitar. It's just the solo just keeps going and going and going.
That's cool.
It's just so fun. And he used to always do that. Well, he'd have the distortion. He'd put his guitar up on the amplifier and start
that's a good trick.
And swinging it around, and lighting it up.
I like when people break their guitars during.
That's the best.
So real
like
rock star.
Well, I did that once because I thought we were having a bad night. I was in maybe a bad mood. I don't know. But the show, everybody told me, dude, that was amazing. But what I did was I got so mad, I smashed my guitar into the stage and broke the neck off the top of the guitar. It's swinging like that from the. It's still lock knighted in. So I left the gig. I went walking around outside, around the block or whatever. And then my uncle comes and finds me, my roadie. He comes and finds me. He's like, dude, you got to go get back there and finish that song. He goes, it didn't go out of tune, man. It's still in tune. So I went back in and finished the damn song, and then we left. And afterward, I was all depressed. Oh man, I just broke my guitar on stage.
Best show
People loved it.
Well,
people loved it. They were like, "That's the best show we ever."
If you can afford more guitars, then that's fine. But if you're a star musician, then that's another thing. Of course, Pete Townsend was super famous for smashing guitars.
Yeah, people love it when they do that.
But still, when
I have friends of mine who've done that locally. Dave Fox, the drummer, my old drummer, he did that one time. I showed up. We had to play, and the funny part was that the first half of the set was terrible. I was already hammered drunk.
Yeah.
But I don't like to do that when I go play shows. So I went anyways, but I was having a hard time even standing up on my wah pedal, trying to do the wah work. I was like, oh God, I'm so hammered. And then
your head was going wah wah.
That was good. Yeah, it was. I couldn't even hook up my gear right. Everything. I was like, oh no. So then we take a break, then we come back, and we killed the second half of the set perfectly. And I remember Dave being so happy about it that he just kicks his drums like over.
Nice.
He's like, he's like after he mashed his drums all up, and he's like, that's right, motherfuckers, and whatever. And then so we ended it in a good vibe. But I would highly advise not to drink a lot when you play. I mean, in the
old days they used to do it, but I don't know.
Not a good thing.
But I think it's more important that if everyone in the band is drunk, that's one thing. But if some of the members are drunk and some of the members aren't, that's not going to work. You got to be on the same level. So that's muy importante to be on the same level there.
That's a rule. We have to write these rules down.
Yeah, we do. There are definitely Johnny Concert postulates and Johnny Concert rules for sure.
Like cautionary tales, pros and cons of doing whatever the hell you think you're doing.
I saw the Allman Brothers one time, and it was a later iteration of them where Derek Trucks on the guitar and Warren Haynes on the guitar. And Derek Trucks in the middle of the solo, and he breaks a string. And you can see the string flopping out around, and so he keeps playing. He's just shredding it. And then this guitar tech's kind of coming from the side of the stage, trying to hand him another guitar, and he waves the dude off and finishes the solo with 5 strings, and everybody goes crazy. It was a super rock and roll moment.
That's badass.
He's like, no, take that guitar back. I'm still rolling. So that's the good stuff. And then you got the kind of the call and response, call and response, and then you got the two guitar players, kind of like the duel. The one guitar player plays the other one, and back and forth, and they keep taking it up a notch. And Allman Brothers are so famous for that. And I think of Iron Maiden going back and forth.
I was going to say Maiden.
Yeah, Maiden, Judas Priest going back and forth, and a lot of those bands, Slayer going back and forth, and just.
Me and my buddy Toby, one time we came up with this band in high school, and we had a thing where it was a guitar dueling thing against each other. And at one point during the soloing back and forth, we get our guitars and we slam the necks together with distortion on.
That's rock
and
and
even
roll.
started sliding them back and forth. It made the most gnarliest sound.
That's
like, so we ended up calling the band Collision or something like that, or whatever it was. But yeah, it was the worst sound ever. You want to hear the worst sound ever?
Dale's on the chalkboard.
It was pretty good.
But yeah, when Iron Maiden, almost nobody's as good as Iron Maiden when they do solo back and forth, and then they come together and they marry the guitars and play the harmonic lines together, and that's one of my favorite sounds in the history of the world when they do that. And now they got a third guitar player as of about 20 years ago. They added a third one because they had Yannick Gears was playing with Bruce Dickinson. He left the band. Then they had the original 2 guitar players. Well. Original after the second album, Dave Murray and Adrian Smith, and then they got back together. Bruce Dickinson joined back to the band, and he's like, "Well, but I got my buddy Yannick Gears plays guitar also." They're like, "Bring him on! We got 3 guitar players now." And they do the same thing where one guitar solo, and then all 3 of them come to the middle of the stage. You go, dude,
be a lot easier.
Like the Trooper when they play the Trooper. And
that way you didn't have to worry about covering all the other bases at the same time. You could let somebody else.
What exactly are they doing though, Dave? Because they're playing the same line. It seems like, but like an octave apart or a fifth apart.
I think that what they do a lot of times is somebody's playing clean clean and somebody's playing like with distortion, and that way you can, sonically you can hear everything better. Like some people like to split their sound in half. Like one half stack will be like clean and one will be distorted. That, like Guns N' Roses used to do that. That
Sure.
way you could always hear all the clarity of the notes, because one stack's playing totally clean.
But don't
And
ever
that's-
mention Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden same sentence ever again.
Oh yeah, but, we're gonna go down this. How about we go? We gotta maybe mention Slash.
Yes, I mean,
Paradise City. That guitar solo goes forever, right? And
Yeah,
it rocks. So it's killer. I've seen him play a couple times, and I was impressed. I mean,
I used to ask my buddy which guitar player had the most feeling of any guitar player. And one time he said
Right.
Slash, and I laughed. I fell off my chair laughing so hard. But then I saw him play, in Slash's Snake Pit, and play some other things, and I was like, you know what? I saw him on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He played Jimi Hendrix Red House with. Can't remember who else was on there, but he was a guest guitar player, somebody that was being inducted. And he played Red House, and I was like, yeah, he does play with some feeling, actually.
Hey, how about Prince when he did when he helped him do "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" with for that tribute thing on YouTube, and Prince comes out and nails the solo perfectly.
That was unbelievable. Yeah.
I love the end of it when he throws the guitar straight behind him. He's like, "Poof." After he's done, he walks off all badass the way he did. But that was pretty wicked, wasn't it? He stole the show that night.
There's a great story
Prince,
about because in England they used to paint on spray paint on the walls. Clapton is God. And so one time they asked Eric Clapton what it felt like to be the best guitar player in the world. And he said, I don't know, ask Prince.
There you go.
That's appropriate.
That's pretty high praise, indeed.
Indeed, I know.
So the other thing, Jimi Hendrix said that Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top is the best blues guitar player of all time. So,
that's up there, Bolton.
I mean, think of some ZZ Top solos. They're crisp and clean and quick and just so tasty. The licks are so tasty, man.
Yeah, I saw him once when I was 16 at the McNichols or whatever. I think it was the Afterburner thing, and it was about the coolest thing I think I've ever, at that time, seen.
It was so cool.
It was so.
They had the furry guitars.
Biggest Egyptian thing
cool.
on stage, and at the beginning of the concert, it snarks that big old white canvas thing like they had over the stage. Like it was snarling a line. You hear that kind of thing going on, and and so and then lasers come shooting out the Egyptian head's eyes and shit, and they came out rocking, dude. We just thought that was the baddest thing we've ever seen.
So do you guys know what the ZZ Top was called before they were called ZZ Top?
13th floor elevators? No,
no,
something like that. The walking.
You're close.
The
You're
walking
close.
stairs,
You're close.
stairs, something.
Moving sidewalks.
There we go.
Moving sidewalks. And so then they did this thing. That's when they opened up for Jimi Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix said Billy Gibbons is the best blues guitar player of all time, and he's white. But then, so they would do this thing on their concert tours where, like the people movers at the airport, like the escalator, but it's going straight across, and they would walk the other way on it. So they'd be walking, but then they wouldn't be on anywhere. It was so cool.
That's hilarious.
It was too cool for school.
I love that too.
Furry guitars that they'd spin around.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Two beers and a guy named Beard.
That's right. That's right. That is that's just funny part of ZZ Top.
Soul. You're talking about like soulful solos.
Well, my guitar gently weeps. Speaking of Clapton, that's a great one.
That's right. The Beatles song, but Clapton plays guitar on it. Good call. Good call.
That's a
That
great
is a
one.
good
That's
call.
very soulful.
Very soulful. You're right.
I like soul, like players like I like Jerry Cantrell a lot, and
He doesn't do tons of soloing.
he doesn't do a ton of soloing,
No.
but he's like when he does, I like him all really. Basically, I like everything he does.
Well,
as
what
far
else?
as
What
that.
about Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath?
Well,
when he
yeah.
plays "Lonely Is the Word" on the last song on the Heaven and Hell album. It just goes on and on and on. It's so good.
You can't do that nowadays. You can't do that nowadays. Nowadays, they don't want you. It sort of semi went out of fashion, I guess, or
the blistering
trendy.
lead.
What's trending nowadays? And then nowadays, it's like a lot of times they don't let people.
Now the
solo
blistering
like
lead's
that.
coming back.
And
No,
you
it
got to
is.
keep your songs to a
It never
certain
left.
amount
It
of
never
time.
really left, yeah.
You're like, you got 3 minutes, man.
Well, that was years
That's
ago.
your
They said
attention
3
span.
minutes.
3 minutes.
But it was kind of Linkin Park that mastered not having a guitar solo,
Yeah.
and I wanted to hate them, but they were so good that I had to love them. I was like, God, I wish there were guitar solos, but. And what's crazy is Brad Delson's a hell of a guitar player, and he writes those songs and produces them too. And he has a signature guitar. He has a Paul Reed Smith signature guitar.
Ooh.
Brad Delson from Linkin Park,
Very nice.
which is pretty rare to get a signature guitar.
Yes,
It is. And that's another topic we'll cover at some point.
Suicidal
But,
Tendencies. Got some great solos.
Oh, good call. How Will I Laugh Tomorrow When I Can't Even Smile Today. That's my favorite.
Yeah, right.
Suicidal's kind of punky, but then they're kind of metal too.
Oh, that's a
And
good one. That's
How Will
good.
I Laugh is their metal album. It's pure metal, and that's my
Which is
favorite
great.
one.
It's a good album.
Hell yeah.
When I can't even smile today. Oh, Lights Camera Revolution.
Those guys are
really
really
good, yeah.
cool guys,
That was
actually.
really
Those
good.
guys are exactly the way you think they would be. We
I
toured
love
with
that.
them, and I remember I was walking in with this girl I was dating at the time, and we go backstage to go hang out with them for a little bit before the show, and they were all just all chilled out and everything. They were exactly the way you always hoped they would be.
Yep.
And then, I remember we ended up, I told them at one point, I was like, man, if you guys ever need some kind of a background,
All I wanted was a Pepsi. She wouldn't give it to me. She wouldn't get it
they
for me.
wouldn't give it to me. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
I went to your schools and your churches.
You're
Silly old mommy.
Trip with the Brain. Oh, God, that album's so good.
Who are we leaving out? We're leaving out.
We're leaving out a ton of
Huge
people.
attack.
man.
Tons of people.
It's so hard
Halen,
to
because,
remember
of course,
Van
we
Halen.
left out Van
one of the best
Halen,
guitar players. He's been on Guitar World, cover of Guitar World magazine more than any other guitar
Probably
player.
more than anybody
Van
else
Halen.
ever. But did you know his dad was the one who invented the tapping thing? His dad used to play on this old, black and white, almost like the Tonight Show or whatever. And he would go out there, and he's the one who invented that
Is that
tapping
right?
thing. Yes, it's right. It's on YouTube. You could go find it. But his dad is the one who invented the tapping thing, but he didn't get the credit. Eddie got it.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, you got to go check this out because it's. When I first saw it, I'm like, well, obviously he learned that from his dad, and his dad didn't get the credit, but it's all good though. I'm sure his dad used to make them play like in his band, just like the Hornbuckles, of course.
Right.
And stuff like you're playing guitar tonight. I don't want to play guitar, or whatever, and he made him do it, but.
What was it? Was it Alex, the guitar player, or something?
Alex was at first,
and then
then
Eddie
they
kept playing the
and then they
drums.
They moved him
switched.
around.
Yeah, they switched.
switched
That's right.
around a little bit. Yeah,
You're on
I
drums
remember
now.
that.
Well, that was another, just musical family.
You want to eat?
Just-
You want to eat? You're coming to play tonight.
That's right. But I thought it was Andre Segovia that invented tapping. I'm not sure.
It could have
We'll
been.
have to see. It could have been some caveman, some cave guys that put a string on a stick and.
Yeah, pull a Jack White, make it out of a Coke
10,000
bottle
BC,
and a 2x4. And
Jack White's another one I just never liked. I don't like Jack White. I don't like the White Stripes.
I didn't used
I don't
to.
like them.
I didn't used to, and then a friend of mine she's passed now, but she made me listen to it, and then after a while I kind of got into it, and I saw that cool thing they did with Jimmy Page, The Edge, and Jack White.
Right, I know. I
and
never
Mike Get
watched
Loud.
that. Mike
Did you
Get
watch
Loud.
that program?
I never watched it.
Watch it.
I heard it was all right,
Watch
but I
it.
don't know. I
It
don't
might
like-
change your mind about the way.
I
that
guess
guy
it
is.
should, because if Jimmy Page says if they're good enough for Jimmy Page, it should
Jimmy
be good
Page
enough for
loved
me.
it. Totally.
Yeah, but I just don't think those guys are even good enough to carry his guitar. You know,
Yeah,
they're not-
and they do like little segments about all of them, like where they came from, this and that. And Jack White does this thing where he sits there and he builds a guitar out of a 2x4, a Coke bottle, and at one string, and through distortion. And he made it sound brutal.
How fun
Yeah,
is
like
that?
in about 5 minutes, he
Wow.
built his guitar and out of
I like
nothing,
it.
banging it around with the hammer. I swear to God, it's so interesting.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty cool. I don't know.
He's a
I
trip.
kind of boycotted it because I don't like I don't know.
I know,
I just
yeah,
don't understand how those two guitar players are on the same page with Jimmy Page, in the same room with Jimmy Page.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't
So,
make
and
sense
the
to me.
Edge is like the effects master.
He's an effects
you know.
master guy, yeah.
Yeah, I saw them play one time at the stadium, and it was Rage Against the Machine, and then
What?
U2. It was the Pop Mart tour.
I was at Pop Mart. There was no Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, they
No,
were.
no,
Yes, they
no.
were. I met them there.
No.
I got Zach De La Rocha laid.
No way.
Yes,
was
they
the- Rage
opened
was the
up for
free
I was
us.
Obama
at
show.
that concert.
You
I
missed
don't
it
remember
then.
no Rage Against the
Rage
Machine.
was the free
Rage
Obama
opened
show,
for
I think.
Pop
Yeah,
Mart
Rage was the
at
free Obama show.
Mile High Stadium. I was there.
Huh.
And yeah,
know
Oh,
about
no,
that.
it wasn't Mile High. It was
It was Mile High
No,
Stadium.
I'm thinking of a different show,
was,
right?
Yeah, Pop Mart was definitely my
Right, I was thinking.
yeah, and
Remember Bullet the Blue Sky when they're shooting those blue lasers into
yeah,
the
the
sky?
sky. Yeah,
They
the-
went
the
forever.
sky, Yeah,
They
they
went
like
forever,
went
dude.
into outer space.
That is a great song.
But after I saw you too, let me tell you, I was so yes, you did. I'll prove it.
You have to prove it.
You bet now?
No.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna owe me
$20.
You're gonna give me a shot and a beer.
Yeah, I know.
and That's about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I don't know
was
about
there.
that one, but
Oh,
I think you might have been
Bullshit.
I didn't Rage didn't play a lot.
Bullshit. No way. No way.
Rage almost never played.
You're gonna be
Denver.
wrong on this
They
one.
didn't-
They played. They opened up the first Lollapalooza at Fiddler's Green, but they only got like 20 minutes, and that's what I saw them. And then they
I probably missed him. I probably missed him at the first Lollapalooza. I probably
know-
got there an hour late.
yeah,
Well,
probably.
the first Lollapalooza also
So-
had Body Count. right?
Yep,
That was
I remember
badass.
the
Yeah,
podcast
that
there.
was badass.
They pretty much tore it
I went
down.
to every Lollapalooza, but I think I got an argument with Leadbelly about. He said he was talking about a Rage Against the Machine concert. I'm like, that never happened. I'm like, I don't think so.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, you're gonna
Well,
lose this
there's
one.
one thing to like forget something that you did, but there's another thing to invent something that never happened. People do it all the time. People tell me these concerts like, "Oh, dude, that was so great when this happened." I'm like, when this guitar player came out as a guest guitar player, I'm like, that guitar player didn't come out as a guest guitar player. Dude, I don't know what show you were at. My buddy's continuously tries to convince me that Buckethead came out during the Velvet Revolver tour. And it was Velvet Revolver and Stone Temple Pilots, both played a full set. And I went with my buddies who are the biggest Buckethead fans in the history of the world. They Buckethead was in about 12 different bands. They got every single iteration of every single thing. And I was like, I called him up. Like, Buckethead wasn't at that show, was he? No.
How do we not mention Rage Against the Machine lead solos? How do we? We're missing
solos,
so many people.
Right,
Well,
so
there's
many.
no way to get them
There's no
all.
way to get
Had
him
we
into
known
this.
about this,
This is
We're just scratching the
this is
surface.
this is an introduction to best guitar solos of all time. We'll have
Okay.
several other.
a little warning would help.
Yeah.
A little warning.
I forgot to tell them what the topic was.
Because now I'm sitting here all like, oh man, I got like an overflow of different ideas about my favorite guitar solo.
Well, what about Stranglehold, Ted Nugent? That's
Well,
a pretty good guitar solo.
Yeah,
Huge.
pretty good.
And what about Peter Frampton? Frampton Comes Alive.
yeah, no doubt.
Do you feel like we do? That's a pretty dang good solo.
So we can't be doing the top 30. So we have to do the top 10. Or...
We're gonna do the top 10 next time. We're gonna come in and we're gonna do the top 10.
All right.
This was just it's kind of the introduction. We're just feeling it out and throwing some things out there. And it's I could talk about this subject all day.
We need to like pre-produce this a little bit better. That way we could have like little tidbits of
But you're
that
not supposed to say
solo
that during the
and-
podcast.
I'm just saying. Maybe we should.
I'll give you a heads up next time.
Sue me.
I'll tell you what the.
Sue me.
I like going cold turkey. I like
Dave
this
Martinez is
broadside
not
by the
even-
topic.
Yeah, you like just having
Spring it on me.
spring it on you. Yeah.
My
Okay.
new name's Martinez, by the way. Just
Martinez. Monsieur Martinez. Senor Martinez.
Javi Martinez.
Oh,
Yes,
God,
that's what my friends
I like
call me.
it. I kind of like it.
I do too, kind of.
Well, we're just scratched the surface. We're going to come back and we're going to do several other episodes of this on this topic.
Yeah.
And but that's it for today. And please leave a comment. Tell us who you think the best guitar solos are,
Yeah.
and if we got the right guitar player but with the wrong solo. You think you're like, oh, that guy he has a way better solo than that. Dude, please, we love comments and we'll respond to them. And wrapping it up. Thanks for watching. Rock on.
Right on.
Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Cartoon. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny.